Hey everyone, DJ here at Top Tech Cards and Games. Today we're going to do another Pokemon deck tech and a gameplay. I think the structure we're going to do for these is go over the deck, talk about the card choices, then just play a game with it so you can guys can kind of get the idea of what the cards do, how the deck works together, and all that jazz. I don't want to have super long videos. Maybe we'll do some gameplay specific ones in the future where it's all gameplay and a longer video, but I don't think that's really the point here. But today we're going to talk about Firebox, Waterbox, Ninetales, Abilities Art, whatever you want to call the deck. There's a lot of different things you can call it. It actually ended up getting second place at OCIC this weekend, and it is in a couple of different feature matches outside of that. So if you were watching the event, you've seen similar decks on camera. It's something that I had built and was really liking going into the event because it's really good against Stall, and the Fire type is obviously beneficial against Zacian, since you're able to get easy one-shots there to stay positive on prize trades. And then I can hit 300 so you can one-shot those ADPs as well. Let's talk a little bit about the list. We've got a bunch of different attackers here. First off, we've got Turtonator, Heatran GX, Heatran GX in particular, I do want to talk about a little bit. There we go. Pop them up bigger. Heatran's really awesome because you can put him on your bench later if you've put energies, if you've had to welder onto a in less than ideal target. Then when you switch the Heatran in, you're able to move all those energies up to him. So it's just a really important card. It also only gives up 2 prizes. So it's really great in certain prize trade situations where you're able to use Hot Burn to deal 300, so you can kill one of those crucial tag teams, but only give up 2 prizes on the return swing. Charizard, it's just a great card, actually. I mean, 230 off the Flare Strike is really good. If we hit 300 with Double Blaze, that's powerful. It also is an attack that can get through things like Obstruct from Obstagoon, so it's a way for us to break through that, or different things like a Keldeo GX. 1 Victini Prism Star, so we can recycle our energies, as well as just being a really efficient 1-prize attacker. Copy of Victini V, this is an alternate acceleration engine. Its first attack, Spreading Flames, puts 3 fire energies from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. And its second attack is 30 damage times the energies attached to both active Pokemon. So this can get up to a high enough number pretty quickly to either take some 2-shots on different things, or especially against Zacian, it's going to 1-shot him. So it's very, very useful ability. It's often going to take 2 shots against other things. And like I said, the alternate acceleration engine is really good. We also have a Volcanion to accelerate us a little more. We're actually going to choose second with this deck, I think. Because we want to get those welders off so crucially, and Volcanion and Victini V are ways that we can still stay ahead on energies even if we miss on welder, which is always one of this deck's bigger weaknesses. We've got a 2-2 line of Vulpix and Ninetales. Older versions of the deck used to play more Vulpix than we're playing now, but with the addition of Quick Ball, you have a much easier time finding them. So 2 seems like enough. There was a new Vulpix released in Sword and Shield that's got 70 HP. From my experience, the 10 HP hasn't been super relevant. I haven't played the Moons matchup a ton, and I've found that in situations where I have to attack with Vulpix, Tail Whip is honestly like a better gamble than the little attack from the 70 HP Vulpix. Depending on what the meta looks like down the road and what decks are being played, that might not be constant, but I'm going to use this Vulpix for right now. Then we've got 3 copies of Dedenne and 4 copies of Jirachi to just churn through our deck and find our cards and our combo pieces. For our trainers, we've got 1 Cherish Ball. It searches a decent number of things in the deck, that being Heatran, Charizard, and Dedenne. If we wanted to play an additional attacker, we could play more Charizards or something like a Lopunny Jigglypuff as a card that's going to really help improve like our Pikarom matchup, which would also be searchable by the Cherish Ball. This could be a number of things, but I did think it was important to have one more way to search out some of those crucial cards. 1 copy of Fiery Flint just to find our energies. A Pal Pad to recycle our Welder. Welder is really key for this deck, so we want to get as much use out of that as possible. 3 Pokecoms. Really important because it's the only way we can search Ninetales in the deck. So, I mean, 4 was honestly a consideration, but the card just kind of sucks sometimes. I mean, you have to put something back, so you have to have a Pokemon you want to put back. I mean, first off, you have to have a Pokemon in your hand in general, and the situation has to make sense for you to put that card back. 4 copies of Quick Ball. This card's just a staple in everything now. For Switch, important to be able to move our Jirachis around to get those Stellar Wishes off and look for crucial cards. And it also lets us do things like Chain Flare Strikes by resetting our Charizard to attack again, or switching our Heatran into the active to move those energies over to him. 2 Giant Hearth. Kind of like the Flint, it's just important to be able to search our energies out. It's a good stadium. Great to be able to counter stadium our opponents. We also have Heat Factory to do kind of the same thing. for supporters, I'm playing one copy of Professor's Research to go with our 4 welders. I've seen a number of different lists include some number of Professor's Researches. I think it's really cool that you can use that to put some energies into your bin so you can get them back with Victini V. I think adding another supporter to the deck gives us a little bit more of a consistent opening. We're not as reliant on Welder this way. We're able to research to dig further into our deck and then use Victini to accelerate our energies. That way we can still end up with 6 energies on something like a Charizard or a Heatran on our second attacking turn. And I think that's really where we need to be. 4 Welder, best card in the deck, just super important. 2 copies of a Skateboard, and then 2 copies of Lucky Egg. Lucky Egg is really great because it lets us, it draws up to 7 cards when one of our Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack. And why that's important is that this deck is just really bad against Reset Stamp. Your opponent can stamp you down, take a knockout, you're going to end up low on energies, low on resources, and it's really hard to recover. Lucky Egg is going to let us stay in the game in those situations, and I haven't played any games with it in the deck yet, but it's something that we kicked around in theory for the last couple of weeks, and then Zach Lesage played it in the list that got second at OCIC, so I wanted to put it in and play some games with the card as well. Then 17 Fire Energies. You can go up to 18, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. I think 17 is plenty. I don't find myself in situations where I'm going to get to 300 with Jirachi or Victini anyway. I mean, you can still get to 14 in your bin to one-shot an ADP or something like this, and I think that's plenty. So let's go ahead and just get into some games on ladder with the deck. I'm just going to play 1 round with it, like I said. I haven't played any games with this specific list of the deck. I'm trying a few new things out, one being that Professor's Research and those Lucky Eggs, but they're definitely cards that I think are going to be good, and I'm happy to experiment with them. So let's just see how this all plays out. Gonna call Tails. Lost the flip. That's fine. And our opponent is having us go first, so... And we're going to have to mulligan there, so that's unfortunate. Okay, and starting with a Vulpix. Definitely not going to be ideal. Our top card is going to have to be pretty good here. This is not an ideal hand at all. Well, our opponent started on Ditto, so that's at least a little bit better for us. So, what do we want to do here? Do we want to play Fiery Flint first to thin some energies out of our deck? I'm inclined to say yes. We really need to hit, but I'm scared to take too many energies out of our deck in the case that we find Dedenne and want to play it. But I am still going to do it. Pitch 2 energies. And let's just check what's in our deck. So we have 1 fire prized outside of those. So we have all our Ninetales, Jirachis, Charizard, Heatran, and Victini are all in the deck. All our Quick Balls. We have the rest of our switches left. A Welder prized. Okay. Let's go back through that one more time. We do not have another Vulpix, so just something to keep in mind. We're just going to go ahead and equip this escape board here. We're going to need to retreat this Vulpix eventually and pass our turn since we can't Welder going first. This is a really scary situation. We could get Daunt this turn and the game will just be over. But, I mean, there is nothing else we could do with that hand. If we get Daunt here, I'm going to end up... Reset Stamp. That's fine. If we get Daunt here, I'm going to eat my words and we'll play a second game. But the fact that our opponent stamped first gives me some hope for us. Quick Ball. So we'll find out what our opponent's playing. Discarding Dark Energy. Searching out Coughing. Interesting. Is this the, like, Roxy Cinccino deck? Another Pokegear. Double Whiff. Interesting. I don't know if our opponent got... Well, alright. That's not a real game. So, I'll add a disclaimer to the only playing one game. If the game that happens is nonsense, we will play another game. Because that doesn't count. That game sucked. So let's go ahead and jump right back into the ladder here. Get another game going. Both us and the opponent drew very badly there. I don't know what they had, obviously, but I mean, it was enough that they chose not to play the game out. Called tails. Lost the flip again. Cool, sweet. And they're going to go first this time. So this is a pretty sweet deal. This is, we want to have Volcanion in our active when we're going second most of the time. It's really useful to be able to attack turn 1 and set our energies up. Then we always want to bench a Vulpix so we can get our Ninetales. Our opponent is starting. I'm going to play the Vulpix just in case they want to spew off a reset stamp to leave us at the same number of cards. Not a ton that we get to do, but being able to just get the equip off onto our Volcanion. Quick Ball pitched Mimikyu. Not too scared of that. Opponent plays another Quick Ball, searching ADP. Is that Aurora Energy? Sure. Go ahead and draw up to 6 here with the Dedenne. So our opponent is playing the ADP-zation deck, so definitely going to just need to keep a couple things in consideration there. Noting that we can one-shot the Zacians with this Volcanion's High Heat Blast if they don't have anything like a Giant Charm or a Metal Frying Pan on it. That Marshadow is not super annoying. We don't care too much about that here. And just going to want to keep in mind too that we want to get to 300 damage in order to one-shot that ADP, again assuming they don't play a Giant Charm on it. Not too concerned here though. Our opponent had an okay opening. We'll see what they draw off that Dedenne. There's definitely more powerful openings. They haven't found a Zacian yet, so they're not going to be able to get way too far ahead of us just with the extra cards and the energy attachments that provides. So just a pass. Okay. What could their last card be then? I'm going to play this Calm, putting back card in just to scout our deck first. So we have 1 Ninetales left. All of our Jirachis, Turtonator, Victini, Charizard, no Heatran. Heatran is prized. Victini, 3 switches. All of our Welders, both Escape Boards, and 2 energies are prized as well. So great, we're going to go ahead and grab Victini, or Dedenne back. Attach energy onto Volcanion. Nothing that we can Pal Pad for, so we're going to Dedenne and draw our cards. I mean, that's not perfect. That's definitely not perfect, but I mean, we're going to play our Charizard. I'm going to hold the Giant Earth. No sense playing it when our hand is a pile of energies and our opponent, well, maybe we do want to thin the energies out. 2, 6, 2 of them are prized, so 8 energies out of the deck already. Get 11 out of the deck here. I'm going to hold on to the Earth. I don't want our opponent to Marshadow it, and I would rather be able to counter their Shrine if that's what they play, rather than thinning out some energies to let them Marshadow our Hearth. Just going to go ahead and Flare Starter, get 3. And put them all on Charizard in Reshiram EX. Check my headphones here, not sure if something else was coming through. No, we're good, we're good. Draws return, sitting and thinking for a little bit. Curious to see what their plan here is. So our opponent must have AFK'd. There's just no other explanation here, so I'm not gonna... Is that what our opponent searched last turn? Oh, yeah, they searched Dedenne, so they must have just AFK'd. Not a ton that I can really say or do there. I'm going to keep playing in case they come back, but I'm just going to go ahead and High Heat Blast that Marshadow. And take a prize card. Really unfortunate that these ended up being a bunch of non-games. Not a ton you can do. I guess I'll have to look going forward into just recording games separately and putting the video together. I haven't run into situations where I've had this many non-games in a row before, so I wasn't concerned about that going in, but I'm not going to mess with it for right now. So our opponent must have come back and scooped the game away. Kind of disappointing games, but you're able to see the deck, what the cards are, and just check out the deck profile as well. So it was cool to be able to talk about the deck and go over some stuff. Sorry that the games weren't exactly the most exciting, but that's where I'm going to call it for right now. Definitely going to do some more Pokemon coming soon. We're going to be testing a lot leading up to the regional in Toronto. So you'll definitely see some more gameplay and deck techs on here up through then. And definitely excited to talk about Pokemon more with everybody. It's really an awesome format. I think if you guys watched OCIC, you'll probably agree. The decks are all great, and the gameplay is really good right now. So I'm enjoying it. I hope you are too. Let me know what you guys think about Welder, Abilities Are, whatever you want to call it down below. I think the deck is awesome and reasonably well positioned. So happy to talk about it and see what you guys think. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll have a lot more Pokemon and other game stuff coming soon.